So, have you ever found yourself in that kind of situation, that really familiar one where you're nodding along, maybe smiling, saying yes to something,
Mm-hmm.
but inside, every single part of you is just screaming, no!
Oh, yeah. That subtle pressure, right. Sometimes it's totally overwhelming.
Exactly. To always put other people's needs, their feelings, their expectations ahead of your own. It's this pattern, isn't it? So many of us just fall into it.
It really is. It's like those moments, maybe you agree to that extra bit of work even though you're completely swamped.
Right.
Or you say yes to plans you're actually dreading just
Yeah.
because, well, you don't want to let someone down. It feels almost automatic sometimes.
Totally automatic. And, well, today, that's exactly what we're diving into. People pleasing.
Yeah.
Our mission, really, is to dig up some practical insights, some powerful wisdom from this source we found. It's highly personal, really candid. It's a YouTube video called Life Lessons from a People Pleaser by someone called Thewizardliz. And we want to understand not just, what it looks like, but maybe more importantly, why it happens.
And the roots of it.
Yeah, the roots, the impact, which is often kind of hidden and painful, and crucially, how we can start moving towards, healthier relationships, both with ourselves and with other people.
Sounds good. Because it's not just about stopping the pleasing. It's about building something healthier in its place.
Right. Absolutely. And we've got some surprising bits of info here and some really actionable strategies that we think can help you get some clarity, maybe a bit more control. So yeah, let's unpack this.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So Liz's video, it jumps right in. It's a pretty raw account of her own history.
Mm-hmm.
And she connects her people-pleasing straight back to being treated badly, like trash is how she puts it.
Wow.
Yeah. She talks about being bullied physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
And not just, at school, but actually within her own home as well.
That's tough. So it wasn't just words.
No, not at all. She mentions being physically hurt by another kid who was also being bullied, sort of under pressure. And this really intense story about being rolled up in a carpet in gym class, like struggling to breathe.
Oh my God. That's horrifying. What I found really striking, though, was how honest she was about why she felt so vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
She basically puts it down to her inability to, quote, stand up for herself and having absolutely no boundaries. Zero.
Yeah.
She said she would do anything and everything just to be liked, that intense need to fit in.
God tried, yeah.
And she felt she had to constantly dim herself because she felt, I guess, weird or different.
Mm-hmm.
But the paradox is that very thing made her an easier target.
That's such a painful cycle, isn't it? The thing you do to try and get accepted actually leads to you being exploited or hurt.
Exactly.
And this trance mode she talks about, where she just automatically complies, that sounds like a classic trauma response.
Right, like the fawn or freeze thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Compliance becomes this like survival strategy. And understanding that it's wired in neurologically, well, it helps explain why it's so hard to break these patterns. And often, takes professional help like therapy, which Liz mentioned she got.
And the home environment piece is crucial, too. She said she also experienced abuse there, so she never told her parents about the school bullying.
Yeah. Didn't want to be the drama child, she said.
Yeah.
Or bring more trouble home, so she just sucked it up.
God, that image. And that's where you see how deep this pattern goes. She explains, growing up or not listening meant physical abuse.
Right.
That has a lasting effect.
For sure.
Even now, she says if someone asks her to do something she doesn't want to do, she can go into that trance mode and just do it.
Braille.
She feels like it's installed in her, like the choice is either that or you'll get hurt.
That's such a powerful way to put it. It really shows why people-pleasing isn't just, being nice. It can feel like a fundamental safety mechanism.
Absolutely. Which brings us to the next point, right? If it's wired in so deeply, what's the actual cost? What does it cost you?
Yeah, that's a huge question. And Liz really highlights that this lack of self-assertion, the lack of clear boundaries, it creates this vulnerability.
Yeah.
And sadly, some people do exploit that.
Mm-hmm.
And the cost, it goes way beyond just, having unpleasant moments. It chips away at your self-esteem. It leads to this chronic resentment bubbling under the surface.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it stops you from forming relationships that are actually real, authentic.
Liz's whole journey seems to point to this really crucial lesson. She says, people will keep treating you like trash until you get boundaries for yourself and you are firm about them.
That's a strong statement.
It is. She talks about her past, how she put up with bad treatment, forgive really quickly, pretend it didn't happen.
The quick forgiveness thing is interesting.
Right. But it's not just about what others do. It's the internal damage, isn't it? feeling insignificant, losing your sense of agency.
Exactly. And the trap is others kind of get comfortable asking things of you or pushing things because they sense you won't really push back.
Yeah.
And even if you do manage to state a boundary, if you're seen as, like, easy to forgive, then that boundary doesn't really have any teeth, does it?
Not at all.
So Liz emphasizes this vital shift. If someone keeps crossing your boundary repeatedly, she says, you do not talk to them, you do not go near them, you protect yourself and your boundaries.
Okay, so that sounds maybe harsh to some people, but she's framing it differently.
Yeah, it's not about being mean or punitive. It's actually an act of self-preservation, self-protection.
It sounds like a core shift then, moving away from worrying about being unkind to others and towards prioritizing being kind to yourself.
That's a great way to put it.
But, okay, for someone who's deep in that people-pleasing pattern, how do you deal with the guilt? The guilt that almost always comes up when you try to set those boundaries.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And Liz talks about this. She even mentions distancing herself from family members who wouldn't respect her limits.
Right.
Because she felt she wasn't asking for crazy things, just basic respect. Which leads to another big lesson she shares. Stop making excuses for people that treat you badly.
Ooh, okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, she basically says people are 100% in control of how you treat others. Your own pain, your past trauma, whatever you're going through, doesn't give you a free pass to hurt other people.
That's a hard truth.
And maybe even more importantly for the people pleaser, you shouldn't have to accept being hurt just because someone else is having a tough time.
That makes sense. It's about accountability.
Totally. And what's really eye-opening is her point about self-empathy. She remembers making excuses for a bully, thinking things like, oh, well, it's because her dad left her.
Right, trying to understand their pain.
Yeah, but then she realized she was being abused at home too, and she didn't treat others that way. She had all this empathy for her bully.
But none for herself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No empathy towards myself, she says. And that moment, recognizing she would rather feel bad for her than I would feel bad for myself, that was, like, huge for her.
Yeah.
A major turning point.
Wow. That really reframes it. Self-respect isn't selfish. It's, like, foundational.
It is. It reminds us you're not a bad person for having boundaries. You're just a person who respects yourself.
Okay, so building on that self-respect, Liz then brings up another really crucial step. You absolutely have to stop making excuses for other people's bad behavior.
Right. No more excuses.
Like if someone asks you a really inappropriate question, she suggests you can just say, I prefer not to answer that. Or maybe even just stay silent. Don't feel obligated to respond.
Yeah, that silence can be powerful. And it connects to this other hard-won lesson she learned. People don't have the same heart or intentions as you.
That's a tough one to swallow sometimes, isn't it?
It really is. Liz says she grew up just not understanding why people would do things she would never dream of doing. And her mom apparently kept telling her, Liz, people do not have the same heart as you. People are not the same as you.
Wow.
And it took seeing, as she puts it, so many toxic people to finally get that on a deep level.
So, okay, if you can't control how other people act, what can you control? That's the big question then.
And her answer is really empowering. She says, you do have power over what you allow and how you react.
Okay. Give me an example.
Well, say someone crosses your boundary or says something that makes you really angry, and then they try to downplay it, tell you it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, yeah, that classic gaslighting move.
Exactly. And she urges you to stand firm. No, if it is a big deal to you, it's your body, your feelings, you know what hurts you.
So rejecting that gaslighting, that attempt to make you doubt your own reality?
Precisely. It's designed to undermine your confidence, make you easier to control. So recognizing it and rejecting it is key.
Which leads, I guess, to another really practical point she makes.
Yeah, which is look at people's actions and not what they tell me.
Actions speak louder than words. It sounds cliche, but it's true, isn't it?
It really is. Liz shares how she used to hear, I love you and you're my best friend all the time.
But didn't feel it.
Exactly. Never felt loved. People can weave this whole narrative with words like a whole musical of promises, she says.
Yeah.
But you have to look at how they actually treat you. How do they make you feel? Do they show up when you actually need them?
So her rule is?
I do not trust words. I trust action. Simple as that.
Okay, so that makes sense conceptually, but how do you, put that into practice? Is there an actionable tip?
Yeah, she offers a really interesting one. She suggests starting to ask people directly, Things like, why did you feel comfortable to say that to me?
Ooh, okay. That puts them on the spot a bit.
It does. Or, why did you feel comfortable to do that to me? And she reckons this can do one of two things.
Which are...
Either they actually offer an explanation, which might, help you understand maybe some subtle cues you're giving off without realizing.
Okay, self-awareness.
Or they get embarrassed. They have no real explanation. And that pretty clearly shows you their intentions, or maybe just their lack of consideration.
Right. It brings clarity, and it communicates that their actions have consequences. They have an impact.
Exactly. It's a direct way to sort of test the waters and see what's really going on.
That's really useful. And maybe the biggest self-reflection question she poses is this.
Yeah.
To start asking yourself, am I doing this for me, or am I doing this for someone else?
Mm-hmm. That internal check-in.
Yeah. She gives this example of a friend trying to drag her somewhere she really didn't want to go.
Okay.
And when she finally stopped and asked herself, what do I actually want? The answer was crystal clear. She didn't want to go.
And the realization is every time you say yes, when you really mean no.
You're saying no to myself. That's how she puts it. You're basically betraying yourself in that moment.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And she notes that constantly doing that, constantly putting others first, it makes you feel so insecure, like really big and small at the same time somehow.
Yeah, and your job isn't to fix other people, right? Or to push yourself down to make someone else go up.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And it's okay if they don't like you for it. Not everyone is going to like you. That's just life.
In fact, she turns it around quite provocatively.
How so?
She asks, do you even like them? Often, she suggests, the answer is actually no. So why are you bending over backwards for their validation?
Huh. That's a great point. We worry so much about being liked by people we might not even respect or enjoy being around.
Exactly. Which brings up this idea of self-validation.
Yeah.
And valuing your own energy.
Yeah, she talks about seeing yourself as exclusive. Like knowing you is a luxury.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, the idea is if you just let everyone and anybody get close to you, get your time and energy, you're kind of signaling that you don't have strong boundaries around yourself, around your sacred energy and time.
Makes sense. It's about quality over quantity.
Exactly. Choosing to protect your energy for the people who genuinely love you, appreciate you, respect you for who you really are, authentically.
Okay. So we've talked about boundaries, self-respect, trusting actions. What's a really practical first step someone could take? Tomorrow?
Well, one of the most practical tips she gives is to practice saying no without explaining yourself too much.
The simple no. Harder than it sounds, though.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But you don't need this huge, elaborate story or some fake emergency to decline something.
Right.
A simple, no, I don't feel like it, or sorry, I'm not available then, is actually perfectly fine. It's enough.
And the people who matter won't freak out.
That's what she found. People who genuinely love and respect you, they won't get offended. They'll probably just appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
She even tried it with her own friends and family, started just saying no honestly, and she said there was literally nothing wrong with that. No big drama, just understanding, acceptance.
Okay. But it's still probably not easy, especially if you've been doing the opposite your whole life.
For sure. It's rewiring deep patterns. So the advice is usually start small, maybe with requests that don't feel super high stakes.
Right. Build the muscle.
Exactly. And just remember that discomfort. It often comes right before growth. And no really is a complete sentence.
No is a complete sentence. I like that.
Finally, she really stresses how vital it is to have time to reconnect with yourself, especially if you're, a highly sensitive person, like she identifies as.
Why is that so important?
Because you can absorb so much of other people's energy. So that time alone, that isolation sometimes, it's crucial to kind of recover, to recalibrate.
And what does that look like?
Could be anything, really. Journaling, meditating, just sitting quietly and letting your thoughts wander. Anything that helps you ground yourself again. And nurture your inner child, that part of you holding your earliest experiences, your core needs. It's all about making sure you're truly taking care of your own well-being first.
That makes sense. And the ultimate act of self-care she mentions, it seems really important.
Yes, it is. It's to forgive yourself for the past times you've let people treat you badly.
Letting go of that self-blame.
Exactly. There's just no point beating yourself up about it. Her therapist gave her this really wise perspective.
Yeah.
That being angry at yourself now just further abuses that inner child who is manipulated into thinking that the only way she would receive love was if she did whatever the other person asked.
Wow. That's deep. So instead of anger?
That inner child needs love. gentleness,
Uh-huh.
understanding. It's about healing that past hurt, not adding more judgment to it.
And it's a process, right? Not like a switch you flip.
Definitely not. Liz herself is really open about it. She says she still has people-pleasing tendencies. Even now, as a successful public figure, it takes constant practice, consistent effort.
So it's okay to still be figuring it out, still healing.
Absolutely. It's a journey.
Well, this deep dive into life lessons from a people pleaser by Thewizardliz, it really just hammers home that this journey from that sort of unconscious people pleasing to empowered self-respect, it's tough. It's definitely challenging.
But so rewarding in the end.
Totally. We've looked at why you might put others first, explored the real costs, the hidden impacts of doing that.
Mm-hmm. And dug into some really concrete steps, like setting those boundaries, actually honoring your own feelings, not dismissing them.
Right. And practicing that self-forgiveness, which sounds crucial, steps that can really start to shift the whole dynamic, pave the way for a more, I guess, authentic life.
Yeah, a life where you're not constantly betraying yourself to please others.
It's such a powerful reminder, isn't it? Empathy for others is, well, it's beautiful, it's necessary, we need it.
Of course.
But if your empathy for other people consistently, like, always outweighs the empathy you have for yourself, well, who's really benefiting from that imbalance?
That's the final question, isn't it?
Yeah. And what's the ultimate cost to your own well-being, your own sense of who you are? Definitely something to think about as you navigate your own relationships.